Hi, I can't tell you how excited I am. When I get a new discovery, I really kind of get up to do some more modeling, and that's where I'm at right now. I showed you the marker house in the last episode, and you saw how I used the marker to create this weathered effect on this building. And to me, it came out looking absolutely dynamite. Looks really good. Then I said, okay, that's pretty easy. We can make weathered okay, but what do you do about that old peeling paint, whitewash peeling off look? That's always been elusive, and I mentioned it in the last one that you could do some of the rubber cement and that kind of stuff. And somebody told me, as a matter of fact, Larry Smith, who's going to do this building at the Amherst show, said, well, take some chalk, you know, the regular chalk like we use for weathering, the kind that scrapes off and powders, powder that onto the side and shoot it with some dull coat. Well, I tried that and it went away. You couldn't even see the white after I put it on there. And so I said, man, there's got to be an easy, fast way to do it, and a way that I don't have to use the spray paint. So I thought, well, you know, Larry Deal, the other guy that uses chalks a lot, as a matter of fact, I did an episode on Trainmasters TV here recently that'll be coming up on making roofing material, tar paper in colors with these kinds of powdered chalks. And it works like an absolute champ, but he doesn't like the artist pastels because they are very oily in their content. They don't come off as powder, they come off in shavings. They're more like a Crayola crayon. So I said, well, let's try that. Let's see what happens if we use the Crayola crayon in place of the powder. And I want to show you what happens when you do that. So let's take our building here. And what I have here is an oil pastel. This one I've had for, I don't know, probably 30 years or better. And it's still nice and moist and ready to go. So I've started around here. Let's flip around this side. I've started over here, and you can see what the result is going to be already, how it's looking. Let's take this, and I'm just going to, you just go crazy. Just color in there, in between the lines, you know, just like kindergarten, you want to be in between the lines. Doesn't make any difference if I get it all. I just smear it on there. There we go. And that's not looking too bad right there. I could just leave that, maybe knock a few of the chips off, but that's looking like it's got a heavier coat of white paint. Now, I've been doing it a little lighter by simply wiping that down, and I just have an old red shop rag here that I'm wiping that down with. But there you go. That's all it takes. And it makes, let's turn it around here where you can see the other parts I've done. This, to me, makes an absolute dynamite looking building with that peeling paint. So then I said, okay, that's not looking too bad. My other problem is that I have chimneys on some of my buildings here that I'm doing on another video for you. And my problem there is that they look pretty plain. They just don't have any brick detail. They're not doing anything for me. So let's steal this chimney out of here. And what I did, I said, well, that's working so well with the white. I tried this white guitar pastel on the chimney, and it worked. But it was what my old friend used to call bilious. Those white lines just jumped off of that chimney. So I went to the art store, and I found a newer brand just because that's all they had at the time. But here's a Van Gogh marker. This one's, again, an artist pastel. And it is warm gray. Now, I also have a cool gray and a neutral gray. I bought 2 or 3 of them just to try them out. But I used the warm gray. And to use this, all I'm going to do is on the side of my chimney here, get up close enough so you can see it, I'm just going to rub that on. I do it kind of a circular motion and cover that chimney. As a matter of fact, I cover it so much it looks like that. I've got that thing absolutely covered. And I made sure that I pushed into this chimney with the chalk to make, or the pastel to make sure that it got down in all those grooves. Then all I have to do is lay this down now, and I'm going to vigorously start to rub this off with that same red rag I was using before. And because this is so oily, it really clings into those grooves. That's the one I just did. Turn it around. There's the one that I cleaned off earlier. Turn it up so you can see it a little bit better. Now, the problem with that, and I think you can see it over here if I get the light just right, maybe, maybe not, is it's shiny. So the next thing I did was this side is the finished side, I believe. Yep. That's the side that's finished, and it has dull coat on it. And to me, it looks absolutely dynamite. Now, the other thing I did for the chimney, and I'll tell you about this in the video I'm doing on the house, but I took my big old Magnum Magic marker here. It's as big as a couple of my fingers, and I just like to go around the tops there and just put some black on it. The nice thing about doing it with the magic marker is that I think you can see this. It lets some of the red show through, so it looks like more like soot rather than if I were to paint the top of that chimney. So let's put it back over here, because now I got a couple sides that look pretty good. Let's stick that up there. Give you a look from that camera. You can see, actually I put it back here. I did that because I want to cheat. Give you a shot with the close-up here. But to me, that just looks a lot better all the way around with that gray on the chimney. So needless to say, I'm excited. I think that's a dynamite way to work with these artist pastels. I'll get it right one of these days. In these applications, I think they work far better than the chalks. We've been trying to use chalks and adapt them all along, and we've always said, well, you spray them with a dull coat and they go away, so you have to be putting more on, and then that's guesswork. This is no guesswork. I just rub this thing on, rub it off, and there it is. And if I want to rub some more on, rub some more on. Make it a little bit darker. I could come back in here where I had it lighter, rub some more white in, and it'll just look like more white paint. So my suggestion is go to the art store, try some artist pastels, and try and get some gray colors. They should have a bunch of selections there for you. And try them out in your mortar lines. I think you'll like it. I never like mortar that leaps off at you. Rather, it should be much more subdued. So when I'm back off this far, I really don't see the lines. They're very subdued. It looks more weathered. It just looks better all the way around. Anyway, go out and give it a try. And until I see you again, happy model railroading.